Now let us come to one more aspect. How does one become a volunteer and how do you prepare yourself to become one? That is a very important question. Now anything which is unorganized, anything for which you are not planning properly, then you cannot succeed. Just like if you are preparing for an examination, you plan for it, is it not? You write question answers, you prepare question bank, you look at the time whether you are able to write that question within that time or not. So, even if your mother cooks or you cook also sometime, your father also cooks sometime. Now you want to prepare khichdi, so you have to get all the ingredients. Now if you have never prepared it, you see a lesson in YouTube how to prepare khichdi, you prepare yourself, then only you can do the thing properly. So similarly, volunteerism is not something for which you can go unprepared and do whatever you like. No, you have to prepare to become a good volunteer. So first step is decide which causes you care about. We have been discussing working for targeted group, and your interest depends. If you are not interested in a subject and you have taken that subject, then what happens? You do not perform good. You do not want to go to science, your parents have forced you go to science. You are not interested for commerce, your parents have decided, you also agree with your parents, you obey your parents and go for commerce. Then what will happen? You will not do good. Or you do not like English literature or history and you have been forced to study history honours or English honours, you will not do good. Similarly, when you are going to be a volunteer, in what field you will volunteer? Education, teaching, health services, social work, cleanliness, swachhata practices. What is that? You want to help the police? So you have to decide in which area you will volunteer. Unless you decide in which area you will volunteer, you cannot succeed. So that is very important. You all know that making choice is the first step. First you decide that I will do some volunteering, then you decide which is the area you like, where you will work. That is the first step. The second step, immediate second step is identify the skill and knowledge you can offer. Do you have that knowledge? Do you have that skill? Suppose you have decided to go for teaching school children. Now you are not good in mathematics, you have not understood many things of mathematics. Can you teach mathematics? You can't. You can still teach mathematics. How? You will yourself study, is it not? You will, there is enough material in internet today, you can yourself study it. You can go back to your school teacher, take his help, or you can find out a friend who can help you. You can ask your friend, bhai, you teach the mathematics portion, I am teaching the English, I am teaching the zoology botany, you teach the mathematics portion, you are good at it. So that is how you have to prepare. It is not that you cannot prepare. So you have to find out whether you are equipped for that voluntary work or not. Now suppose you want to do a voluntary work for traffic management, or you are trying to assist the traffic police, then what will happen? You have to get a book. So traffic symbols you have to know, road symbols you have to know. So once you know that, then you can do traffic management. If you do not rule the symbols, how to raise your hands, how to show the direction and all that, if you do not know, it is not a problem. You can learn, you can know. Not knowing is not a big problem, but you must be determined to know. First you find out what skill it requires, whether you have that skill or not. If you do not have that skill, acquire that skill. If there some knowledge is to be acquired, acquire that knowledge. Take help from others and do it. Okay. Then identify the skill and knowledge you can offer, create a volunteer resume. Now world has changed, there are so many people eager to volunteer for so many things, it is not that you suppose you will go to the traffic police, you have to give a writing, how you are good at it, how you have learnt it, why you want to do it, and a resume. Just like for a job, we write our resume, we write our CV, curricular vita or biodata, whatever you do, is it not? Suppose you want to join LinkedIn, then also you prepare your vita, you have to upload your information in the LinkedIn, that is a professional website. So, we have to prepare a kind of a small letter, maybe 1 page, and what are the basic informations that you have, what is your age, what is your family background, what are the knowledge you have gathered, and how you are equipped to do that particular voluntary work. You have to write a resume. Then determine how often you can volunteer. Volunteering always involves time. So, suppose you are a college student, you will say during this vacation I can do that. You can't do it during your examination. So, what is the time? When can you do that? When are you free? That you have to say. Research volunteer opportunities in your community. You find out what are the opportunities. That is researching. That is finding out what are the needs of your community, where you live, what is that is lacking, where you can help. That you have to do research. Acquire appropriate mindset as well as skills. We have already explained it. Then inculcate professionalism. What is inculcating? Professionalism we will deal little later in the next minute, next chapter is work ethics. There we will come across professionalism. But suppose you are supposed to be available on Sunday. Say for traffic police work, you have to say that you are being assigned, say Bhubaneswar Rupali Chaka, a Maharshi College student is assigned. Now some other work comes and he does not appear, he does not go there. They require 2 constables to manage the square. Because you have volunteered to do it, there is only 1 constable. Now you do not go, you do not inform, then what happens? Is it professionalism? No. So, some professionalism is required. Once you have made a commitment, you have to respect it, otherwise there will be confusion. You say, oh, I am a free worker, I am not taking money, so I may go, I may not go. How does it make a difference? It makes a difference. It makes a difference for you, it makes a difference for the police, it makes a difference for the people who travel through Rupali Chak. All of them will face problem. And when you tomorrow you join a service, all of a sudden you cannot develop professionalism. Habits die hard. That means you are insincere, you are not professional. So, that is very important. Even if you decide you have offered it free without charging anything, even then you must behave professionally with responsibility. A regular assessment of one's own voluntary experience. You must find out whether you are able to do it nicely or not, whether you have affected the society positively. That kind of assessment, self-assessment is necessary. And once you do self-assessment, you will find your strong points, you will find your weak points. So, you will address your weak points. Okay? So, that is what is necessary. A volunteer must always be aware of the consequences of his or her work. So, you must be aware how your work is affecting people. So, आमे बर्तमान आलोचना कले जे केमिति निजको प्रस्तुत करिवा भलो वॉलंटियर हवा पे। प्रथम कथा आमे कहवा जे आमे को एरिया रे काम करिवा, शिक्षा रे काम करिवा, स्वास्थ्य रे काम करिवा, पुलिस को सहाय्य करिवार काम करिवा, जंगल रक्षा करिवार काम करिवा, गछ लगेबार काम कर कोथिरे काम करिवा। थरे डिसाइड करितो काम करियो केमिति डिसाइड करियो तमर निजर दक्षता कोथिरे अछि देखिबो, तमर ज्ञान कौशल कोन अछि देखिबो, नो कि तुम ज्ञान कौशल अनुसार तुम दक्षता अनुसार तुम आग्रह अनुसार तुम्हें निष्पत्ति नब मु तुम्हें कौन काम कर जो दक्षता आवश्यक जो ज्ञान आवश्यकता जदि नहीं तुम पाखे अथच आग्रह अच्छी ताला आम से ज्ञान और दक्षता हासिल करवा नो कि पढ़ापढ़ी कर जाना अन्यठू जाना आजिकल तो इंटरनेट रू बहुत कथा जानी होची जानिबा नहीं कि किंतु इंटरनेट रे जहाँ अच्छे सब ध्रुव सत्य बोली भाविबनी बुझल कि हाँ वेरिफिकेशन करिवो वेरीफाई न करके जहाँ इंटरनेट अच्छी ताकू ब्रह्म ज्ञान बोली मन कले बड़ असुविधार बापा है एवं तापर कौन कर तुम निज विषय गोटे आत्मसमीक्षा करके गोटे लिख गोटे पृष्ठा खंडे लिख कौनटा रिज्यूमे लिख जमती तुम चाकरी गोटे आवेदन कला बेलू तुम सब कर जन्म केवे तुम कौन पाठ पढ़ीच तुम कौन दक्षता अच्छी इत्यादि तुम आग्रह कौन अच्छी ये सब कथा जमी लिखुच सेमती गोटे करके पठेब जो जो संस्थार कम करने चाहूच पाखु पठेब बुझल कि से भाया तुम केत समय हे से कथाटा चिंता कर तुमको जदि रविवार दिन समय हे तुम जनइब जे केवल रविवार दिन समय हे आज्ञा मोर यही समय परीक्षा अच्छी मुझे आसपारे एवं तुम गोटे प्रोफेशनल लोक भाया व्यवहार कर तुम कही आगुरी कही रविवार दिन रूपाली छक ट्राफिक पुलिस को साहाय्य कर किंतु तुम जा देखा दर्शन देलनी तुम गोटे कौन असुविधा है आगुरी जनइलनी ताल कौन है समस्त असुविधार पड़े सेटिकी तुम जीव बोली भाविक पुलिस विभाग गोटे कनस्टेबल पठे आ तुम देखा दर्शन ना तेणु जो मैंने यातायात कर हईराण पड़े से पुलिस विचार हईराण पड़ो बुझल कि एवं तुम विषय लोक धारणा खराब हम एवं तुमको कहे नाई रे बाबू या विश्वास करनी या डाक किसी लाभ नहीं ये न आसू ता कथा सी बुझु नुह कि तेणु तुम्हें बदनाम हम तेणु से मन रखियो खब जे तुम्हें गोटे दक्षता प्रकाश करियो खब गोटे कमिटमेंट रहा दरकार एवं तुमर जो अनुभूति होची से अनुभूति की तुम्हें विचार करियो मझे मझे भल हो कि ना खराब हो कि कौन तुम टे दुर्बल अच्छ कि ताकू विचार करियो तुम पारुच कि ना प्रकृत में इत्यादि इत्यादि कथा विचार करवा आवश्यकता तेणु सबुबले जड़े वॉलंटियर को मन रखियो कहो जे तार कामर कौन प्रभाव पड़ुଛି कौन सुप्रभाव पड़ुଛି कौन कुप्रभाव पड़ुଛି कौन कौन सुप्रभाव पड़ुଛି निजको कौन परिवर्तन करने हम एवं केमती खाप खुए हो से कथा चिंता करियो ताहले सेही जो अभिज्ञताटा हम से अभिज्ञताटा आमर काम लगे ता ना ता काम लगे बर्तमान देखा वॉलंटियरिज्म रो केते गुड़े के दिग आलोचना करवा जो विषय आम बहुत कम हो कॉलेज विशेषकर कॉलेज छात्र मैंने जो काम कर जहाँ उपयोगी से कथा आलोचना करवा नाउ लेट अस डिस्कस फ्यू वॉलंटरी एक्टिविटीज फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट इज ब्लड डोनेशन आई एम नॉट गोइंग इनटू डिटेल्स नाउ हियर a kind of a question answer is given in your book which if we read you will understand it. There is not much for me to discuss or explain. So, this is the kind of literature we need to develop and we need to study. Just like if you are going to work with traffic police, you have to read about road signage. You have to read what are the sign languages the traffics all over the world use. Now, how traffic is to be controlled in a square where roads are going on 4 ways. Now, if there is a circle, how it is to be controlled. Now, if there is a triangle only 3 ways, roads are going in 3 ways, then how it is to be controlled. There are roads squares which goes in 4 ways, 6 ways or sometime in 5 ways. If you go to Jayadeva Vihar, you will see a typical square round where it goes into road goes into 5 ways. There are also numerous roads say in Puri where it goes 3 ways. Okay. So, you have to know the differences, the signage and all that, otherwise you can't do that. Similarly, what are the questions that comes into blood donation and what are their answers. I am not going to explain it in details, I think you will be able to understand, but few of them I will read out. Now, question is who can donate blood? Answer is any individual between 18 to 65 years of age, weight above 45 kg with a hemoglobin count above 12.5 and all these details are there. Now, what is the simple thing? If you are interested in blood donation, you will go to a hospital, you will approach blood bank officials and find out whether you are eligible or not. This is the simple advice. So, before deciding to donate blood, you have to find out whether you are eligible to donate blood or not. Is there any health related benefit associated with regular blood donation? Yes. Regular blood donation, cholesterol remains in control, thereby reducing chances of heart ailments, diabetes, hypertension related diseases. The bone marrow regeneration becomes better. While donating blood, a person is automatically tested for diseases such as HIV, AIDS, hepatitis, syphilis, malaria. One also gets an inner happiness in being able to save other human lives. The question is there any benefit? The minimum benefit that you get is that your blood grouping is tested, you know your own blood group. They find out whether you have HIV, AIDS, any diseases, because if you have any of these diseases, malaria, then if your blood is given to another person, he will get those diseases. Okay. So, those diseases which are carried by blood, immediately those tests will be carried out and you will know that you should not give blood or you should give blood. There are other benefits. Here again, if you want to know what it is, you have to go to blood bank, you have to ask a doctor, you have to read literature, health related literature from various sources, official sources of blood banks, and that you will know. How much blood is there in the human body, how much can be donated? In males per kilogram body weight, one has 76 ml blood, and in females the corresponding quantity is 66 ml. So, since human body needs about 50 ml blood for healthy circulation, there is excess blood of 26 milligram per kg in males and 16 milligram in kg for females. At one time, one can therefore donate about 5 to 7 milligram kg of blood without any problem. So, how much blood you can give? That has been answered here. Who are prohibited from donating blood? So, who should not donate blood? Persons suffering from HIV AIDS, already we have discussed this. Those who are afflicted with common ailments may donate after receiving treatment. Women are barred during their periods, menstruation period, pregnancy, within 3 months of a miscarriage, during breastfeeding period. So, all this. So, you have to ask the doctor again. My standard answer is that you have always to verify with doctor and blood bank people. What are the tests done before donating blood? Normally body temperature, weight, hemoglobin count, blood pressure, pulse rate, as well as conditions of liver, kidney and lungs are examined before you are allowed to donate blood. What are the tests done on the blood collected in each blood pouch? Once you take, the blood is taken, before it is given, the blood bank people, they take test. What is that? They test whether you have jaundice, HIV, AIDS, malaria, sex related disease, blood groups, cross matching between bloods of donor and donee. Since these are time taking, they are done in the post collection period in blood bank, prior to giving it to the who will take the blood. So, after you give the blood, they do this testing. What should be the time interval for regular blood donation? 3 months in case of males, 4 months in case of females. Is it safe? Blood donation is completely safe these days. Every instrument used is sterilized, including the needle, its holder are destroyed after one use. There is no fear of infection. What is AIDS? Does it transmit through blood donation? AIDS is a dangerous disease that spreads through bodily contact or contact with body fluid. So, blood donation should not be given. It does not spread through blood donation, but it compromises the body immunity against external infection. So, that is very important. For how long can be collected, be stored safely? Normally, anticoagulant like CPDA is added and stored to 2 to 6 degree up to 35 days. These are details you can always find out to be regularly if you are a blood donor, but you trust the doctor, you trust the blood bank. After donating blood, how long should one wait for going back to regular activities? 30 minutes. Occasionally, people are seen to faint after donating blood. Is it natural? Predominantly, these are effects of fear, consequent psychological stress. Sometimes if one tries to stand up immediately following donation, this could happen. It could also happen if donates blood on an empty stomach or after a sleepless night. So, these are basic informations about blood donation. that you must know, but trust the doctor. That is the advice. And those who, if you are going to organize a blood donation, then people will ask these questions. You should be able to explain it to them. That is where you must know all the details. Why you have included in this? Now, one part is that you are a volunteer who is donating blood. Okay. You will ask every question that is there in your mind to the blood bank people, they will answer you. But suppose you are organizing a blood donation camp, then people will ask, fellow students will ask, those who have come to donate blood will ask, or you have to go on there to tell the students why you should donate. Then all these things you must know in great details. Okay. Then organ donation. India with a donation rate of 0.65 per million population is one of the lowest percentage of people who donate organ. Now, this is very much linked with your culture and with your religious faith and all that. You know, many religious faith does not encourage organ donation. It does not encourage. Because of strong old religious faith, sometimes blind faith also, people do not want to, say in India, you have to be burnt. If you are a Hindu, people will burn you. If you are a Muslim, you will be buried under the ground. If you are a Christian, you will be buried in a box. So many religious things are there. And amongst the Hindus also there are various practices. Not that everybody is burnt. So, these prevent people from organ donation. But with the spread of science education and all that, and because of the need for organ donation, earlier if the organ was taken out, it could not have been used also. Today science has made it possible, growth in medical science has made it possible for you to use that organ to give life. Sometime when somebody accidentally dies in road accident and all that, immediately if he has signed a declaration, if he has already made his wish known that my organs are to be donated, then that takes place. You know, sometime when heart is taken away and given to somebody else, people survive. And sometime when brain dead people, suppose somebody dies and within certain time, if conditions apply, the eyes can be taken out, somebody else can see through your eyes. What a great thing. By donating your organ, you are renewing the life of somebody else. So, that is why it is very important that in the changed circumstances, we may have to come out of our religious beliefs. There is no compulsion. I am not saying that everybody should do it, but once you, I want you to be conscious that this can be done and it benefits the mankind to a great extent. So, that is what is. Living donors are permitted to donate the following. If you are living, you are not dead, either brain dead or full dead, you can give one of your kidney, portion of the pancreas, part of the liver. These are the only things which you can give. And living donors must be over 18 years of age, are limited to donating only to their immediate blood relatives. Why this limitation? First of all, if you are giving to your blood relation, then suppose you are born and you are giving to your father and mother, your brothers and sister, there are chances of acceptance of that body part greater in them. If you give to somebody who is not your blood relation at all, then there is a greater chance of rejection. So, there is one scientific medical reason that these things, kidney, pancreas or liver, parts of those things when they are taken out from you and given to somebody else, if they are blood relatives, then it becomes easier for the body to accept it. That is one reason. The much more important reason is that there is a racket, unethical racket in selling body parts. So, sometimes people induce financial gain to a poor fellow and say, you give your kidney, I will give you so much of money. Sometimes doctors also become part of such kidney rackets. You must have seen in newspaper how this is happening. Nobody should sell his body part. That is unethical. That is unacceptable. So, selling is not promoted, volunteer. So, that is why to restrict that, the Supreme Court has come up with guidelines who can give, how can it be taken, so on and so forth, to prevent any unethical research or unethical for money matters if it is not done. You must ensure that this does not happen out of financial consideration. Living donors must be 18 years of age and they must know what they are doing. Deceased donors, if you are dead and you have signed a declaration before your death, then you can donate 6 life saving organs: kidneys, liver, heart, lungs, pancreas and intestine. These are the things you can donate. After natural cardiac arrest, heart attack, cardiac arrest is, cardiac death is heart attack and all that. Organs donated are cornea, bone, skin, blood vessels, whereas after brain death, about 37 different organizations tissues can be donated. Brain death is that you are dead in the brain, but physically you are not, your heart is still pumping and all that, but there is no chance of your revival. So, in that case you can donate much more, and these are the things which you have to sign a declaration, sometime court or declaration you have to make in a first class magistrates court. So, the All India Institute of Medical Science at Bhubaneswar, it has its own code of ethics, it has prescribed how it is done. In Odisha, the Lok Sabha Mandal, which publishes Samaj, a very popular newspaper, people do it, people also advocate blood donation and they are working for it for organ donation. तो पिलाने दीटा कथा एठी कुआगला, गोटे जे ब्लड डोनेशन किए करि परिबो, को सर्कमस्टेंस रे करि परिबो, दी प्रकार कथा कुआगला, जहाँ लिखाई तो ताको पढ़िबो, आउ ब्लड बैंक को जाइकी ताको पाखरे जो पुस्तिका सब लिखिछन से माने ओडिया रे करिसंती ताको आनी कि पढ़िबो, पढ़िले तुमे जानि परिबो को माने रक्तदान करि परिबो। तुमे जदि व्यक्तिगत भाव रक्तदान करूछ ताले तुमे पढ़िले ठीक अछि, पढ़िबा दरकार एवं ब्लड बैंक अफसर मान को कहब जे मु से माने से कौन लाभ, गोटे हूँ जे जो गुड़ाक रोग गुड़ाक रक्त संक्रमित हुए, जनक रक्त आउ जन पाखु गले जो संक्रमित हुए से टेस्ट गुड़ा से करनियंती एवं तुमर जेतिके रक्त आवश्यकता अच्छी तुम ओजन फोजन नहीं सारा पर जना पड़ो जे ताठू अधिक अच्छी कि नहीं तुम दे पार कि नहीं, ये सब परीक्षा निरीक्षा न करी कौन कथा लुचेकरी ब्लड डोनेशन करनी। धर जंडिस होती तुमको है अल्प दिन तले तुम कहलनि डाक्तर को जे मोर आज्ञा जंडिस होता से जानवे के रक्त ने तुमठू, तेणु तांकर जहाँ प्रश्न से पचारे तार ठीक ठीक उत्तर दो। तार आउ गोटे दिग हूँ जदि तुम्हें ब्लड डोनेशन कैंप ऑर्गेनाइज करुच ताले जो मैंने आसवे से कैंप को अनेक प्रश्न तुमको पचारे, से सब प्रश्नर उत्तर तुम्हें जानी रखा दरकार। से भाई अंग प्रतिदान करा जाए, विशेष करके जो माने बर्तमान आम जीवित अच्छे से माने किडनी रू गोटे अंश, गोटे दीटा किडनी अच्छे आमर से गोटे अंश दान कर, गोटे किडनी दान कर, से भाया पानक्रियाज रू गोटे पोर्सन, लिवर रू गोटे पोर्सन, लिवर नहीं कि भल लिवर थी खंडे काटिक लगेला आजिकल से बढ़ी जाऊँच अन्य देहरे, किंतु किए क्या दब ना तुम निजर रक्त संपर्क को दब, कारण ताहले कौन हम से जो लोकटा पाइब सी तुम बॉडी पार्ट को ग्रहण कर सुविधार, अन्य लोक को जहाँ सहित कौन से रक्त संपर्क नहीं से सहज ग्रहण कर। द्वितीय कथा हूँ पृथ्वी जाकर विशेष करके भारत में बहु कथा खबर कागज बाहर जोटि तुम देखो किडनी रैकेट, लोक चोरी कर नौकरी से डाक्तर मैंने भी सामिल होती, देहर अंग चोरी हो से लोक को पैसा देकी ताठू निया जाऊँ, तार गरीबत्वर सुजोग निटा भल कथा नुह। से भाया जो मैंने आगुरी दस्खत करेंगे डिक्लारेशन दलिल दस्खत करेंगे गोटे लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट अच्छी से मरीजा तांकर किडनी लिवर हार्ट लंग्स पैनक्रियाज एंड इंटेस्टाइन पर्यंत निया हो पार्चे काम लगा हो पार्चे। जदिव इंटेस्टाइनटा खूब कम काम सबू हस्पिटाल हो पारनी, खूब कम मुष्टिमय हस्पिटाल रोचे, प्रकृत अंग प्रत्यंग दान करने नहीं आ गोटे देहरे रोपण करवा सहज कथा नुह, केवल भल भल मेडिकल कॉलेज से कथा हो पार्चे, बुझे कि आउ जो मैंने ब्रेन डेड माने तांकर मस्तिष्क आउ काम करनी कि से देहरे चलती रक्त प्रवाह चलती खाद्य हजम हो इत्यादि इत्यादि होती से ब्रेन डेड कहुए, जो से आउ तांको पाखरु जदि नाक पाखरु ऑक्सीजन बाहर कर दिया से मरजिव से बंचार चांस नहीं तो सही भाया क्षेत्र में जदि तुम आगुरी दलिल दस्खत करछ ताहले पाखापाखि 37 अंग तुमर पुनः व्यवहार हो पार मूल कथा हूँ ये केते बड़ भल कथा धर्म विश्वास जो अनेक समय अंग प्रत्यंग दान कराऊ नाला से प्रति टिके मनरे आशंका रोला किंतु से काल पूर्व काल जो धर्म संबंधी नियम सब होता से गोटे लोकर अंग नहीं आ गोटे लोकर लगी पार नाला विज्ञान सेते अग्रगति करनथिला जे गोटे लोकर अंग को लेकिन अन्य लोकर प्रत्यारोपण करा एभली व्यवस्था नाला तेणु जो विज्ञान उन्नति घटी जापरी प्रत्यारोपण संभव होची आगुरी रक्त जन लोक पाख नहीं आउ जन लोक को दवा संभव नाला बर्तमान जोटा विज्ञान संभव कर तेणु यही ज्ञानटा आम पाख आसला आम या जानला आमर मनोवृत्तिर परिवर्तन आवश्यकता रही तेणु जो मैंने युवक अवस्था अच्छ आम बुढ़ा लोक मैंने आम ये विषय ज्ञान वितरण करवा लोक भितर सचेतनता सृष्टि करवा जे रक्तदान हो पारुची अंगदान हो पारुची विज्ञान उन्नति घटी तेणु आस यही सब भल काम आम करवा आसंता काली फेर आलोचना करवा धन्यवाद।